Welcome, I'm Wes, the sewing machine repair guy, and today we have a Brother HC1850. It needs at least to be cleaned up on the outside. Hopefully this is not indicative of what we'll find on the inside, but you never know. So this machine is a gift from a mother to a daughter, and the daughter is going to learn how to sew on this machine. And right off the bat we got a broken needle down here. We're going to have to figure that one out, see if it caused any damage when it broke. And, well, I guess without any further ado, let's get to the teardown. So yeah, this machine, not that dirty on the inside. You can definitely see some fuzz around this area, around in here, but underneath, not too bad. Now this is a Brother machine, so Brothers are known for having bad bushings. And so what you have to do is after you clean this machine, you gotta put oil on these bushings. So there's 4 of them. There's one here, one over here, one over here, and one down here. So 2 on the bottom shaft, 2 on the upper shaft. Make sure you get oil on those when you have this machine apart. This machine is not a heavy-duty machine. There is no metal holding it together. It's all just plastic. Now the plastic is good enough. It's able to make a machine that's inexpensive for you to use at home, but it's not going to be something that you're giving to your great-grandkids one day, because this plastic will end up getting brittle and just kind of falling to pieces. And we're back. So now I've just blown this out with some air, and now I want to get some oil. Now when you're oiling a machine like this, very little does the trick. So very little. I'm using regular sewing machine oil, the stuff that you buy at your local big box store, and then get these bushings. So I put a little dab there, a little dab on the front and the back of that bushing, because ideally what's supposed to happen is that the bushing absorbs the oil, because that's what it's designed to do. It absorbs it in there and then helps to lubricate that shaft that's going through it. Okay, that's got everything on this side. Then we want to look at the front of the machine. So the important thing here is our tension assembly. This right here is your release of the tension when you raise your presser foot. So this thing right here just moves over and releases the tension. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my little brush and I'm going to push on this so I can get the little brush inside between those tension discs and just clean them up. You get any leftover thread inside there and your tension is just messed up on this machine. So sometimes you get stuff stuck in there. And it also depends on what kind of thread you're using. There is some cheaper thread out there that kind of has like a waxy coating on it, and that's really bad for these things. And what I like to do before I put together one of these machines is take my Let's take my crud cutter and just put a little bit on my Q-tip, cotton swab, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of clean along this edge, because this edge will be seen in that crack where the two halves go together, and it just catches junk, so it doesn't look real professional when you hand somebody their machine and there's all this crud along this line here. And so I'm just cleaning in between there before we put this machine back together, and then once it's back together, we'll clean the whole outside of this machine, which really needs some crud cutter, and also some of my secret weapon. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, I'm wearing one of my t-shirts, so you could find this at sewingmachinerepairguy.com if you like t-shirts like this or some of the others that I have there. So this part, I don't know if I showed you how much I showed you by pulling this apart, but putting it back together, you got these two connectors. So I go ahead and connect the connectors up where they go. You just push them in there. And then these cables, all these wires for this thing, go up into these little plastic clips, retainers, whatever you want to call them. So they go up, they go around there, they go down and around the back, just like that. So that looks just like it did when we pulled this machine apart. And now, because Brother machines, at least this style of machine, doesn't use all these clips around there, so it easily comes apart, and you don't have to use the pry tool set, also available at sewingmachinerepairguy.com. Just putting a dab of oil right there on the hook as well. So now it's time to put this machine back together, put all the screws back in. Before you go, hold on, just stay right there. One key thing. So these screws right here are made to destroy plastic. That's what they're made to do. These screws are made to destroy plastic, and what they do is, in the factory, these holes don't have threads in them. They use a machine and ram this screw into the machine, and it makes its threads while it goes in. So I don't want to make new threads. I want to use the old threads that are already made, because if I make new threads, then we run into the problem of the screws won't stay in. So I put the screw in there, and then I turn this backwards until I hear a click. That means it just fell into the thread. And then I turn it forward, and it easily screws in all the way because it's using the same threads. If I didn't do that, I would be really huffing trying to get this thing in there, because it would be difficult because it's making new threads. All right, it's time to talk about these again. So there's nothing wrong with this. The problem is when you do this. So this is a class, what is that, 66 bobbin? This is for the old Singers. This bobbin works in old Singer sewing machines. This bobbin case is a modern Brother bobbin case. So there's a couple of problems with this. So this bobbin case, this bobbin has curved edges. So it's not flat on the edges. So when you put it in here, it wants to roll all over the place. It's also not tall enough, so there's a lot of space. So this bobbin will not produce a good stitch in this machine. So let's compare and contrast. Notice the difference here in height. Notice the shape of the sides. These two bobbins are very different. So this one should fit right in here, and I should be able to easily pull my thread through and it come across and just barely touch the top of that. That's the correct bobbin. It doesn't move all over the place, and that will give me good tension for my lower thread. So this machine was used, but look at this, not a single needle strike. So whoever used this Alright, one thing I want to do before I put that needle plate on is do a rough check of my timing. Because we know that we broke a needle in here and that could mess up your timing. Needle hits the bottom, and then as it comes up, that hook goes right behind that needle. So that's a pretty good timing. And I'm looking at the feed timing, so feed dogs are coming up when the needle's up and then going down when the needle's down. Looking good enough to test right now. Okay, I can't put this in this machine. I gotta clean this first. That's nasty. Whatever, there's gunk in there. I don't know what it is. Alright, we are threaded. We are going to try this machine out and see how we do on a straight stitch. E1! Yeah, so when you're putting together a Brother machine, you got to make sure that you put together the tension release correctly. Otherwise, you get no tension. So when you put this together, you got to make sure your presser foot is down, because if your presser foot is up, then the latch that catches this right here will never catch it. So make sure your presser foot is down, and then when you put this together, so see if you can see in there, after we put this together, can you see it? Maybe this will help. That's what you need to make sure happens when you put this together, so that you don't have to take it apart again and fix that. Alright, round two. That is a nice, smooth machine. How about that? That actually looks really good. Okay, let's go to a zigzag. So the front looks amazing. What's the back look like? The back looks pretty good. Pretty good for this this machine right here. So now we want to check my favorite, the waffle stitch. We'll give that one a try and see how it does on that. So the waffle stitch tests your feeding, changing the feeding as well as stitch. Alright, look at that. Beautiful. Looking beautiful. This machine is a really good sewing machine. I think that our friend who got this machine from her mother got a wonderful machine to sew on. But right now it looks like it's not happy. So the outside of this we're going to clean up right now and make it look like a brand new machine. Watch it just melt away. The crazy thing about this is usually a machine that looks like this has a heavy tobacco smell to it. This one does not. So this cleaner is called Crud Cutter, and I use it on these machines, and then I use my secret weapon to shine up the machine afterwards and make it look, and even make that plastic feel, and it protects the plastic, makes it feel like it's brand new. Alright, if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you know what my secret weapon is. 303 Protectant, so there's a link below for an affiliate link for Amazon. This stuff is amazing, and you will see the result here in just a second. So take a look at that before, how this thing is just grimy, nasty, ugly looking, dirty, all those things. And now check out the after. That protectant makes this plastic not only be clean, but it makes it feel like brand new, and it protects it from UV, from the sun. Not a bad deal, not a bad deal. This machine is ready for daughter to learn what mom used to do.